Good morning, all of you. So let's see, the people will be joining. So I think our today's speaker, sir, is ready to give us the presentation. So let me start, give an introduction. So it gives me immense pleasure to extend you a very warm welcome. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, madam.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, all.
Today, today we are having a session for our dear students. That more than a session, it is a workshop on students' innovation and intellectual property rights. Why we have opted this topic is because you people all are engineers. Now you started doing your mini projects. You are having so many innovative ideas, but you actually don't know how you have to present it, where you have to present it. Simply telling your idea to everyone or making something and not marketing, all these things are having some legal and some rights are there for that one. So let all our budding engineers have the knowledge of this intellectual property rights. That is whatever your ideas are there, where you have to present, how you have to present, how you have to safeguard your ideas. So all these things, I think most of you are unaware of these things. Anybody who's having idea of IPR? Any one of you? I think it is a very, very hot topic and very important at the present scenario because nowadays everybody is doing small, small things and they are getting so much of pride and all. But actually, you people know better than that one, but you don't know where you have to do, how you have to do, what all procedures we have to follow. So now today we are having our beloved HOD sir, that is Professor Sivaprakash sir, to give us more ideas and to enlighten us more knowledge about the IPR and what are your student innovations. So now it's all over to our speaker because I don't want to bore you all. So let us listen to our HOD sir, get more enlightened about IPR, and we will, any doubts are there, parallelly we will interact with sir and we will get to know some ideas. Thank you all of you. Sir, it's all over to you.
Thank you, Aruna. So, good morning to everyone. So, it's my pleasure to be a speaker over there for this today's session, workshop on students' innovation and intellectual property rights. So, as Professor Aruna said, the topic which have been selected by the department is going to be a more important topic, and at this moment it has to be taken care by the students too. Even we can join hands with faculty and students together. We have to do this kind of rights, and we have to get some more insights about this. So it's going to be an enlightened session, I hope so. So let me start the session with the permission of the coordinator. Shall I share my screen, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Before we start, we would like to welcome our HOD, sir, principal, management for giving us this opportunity to host this webinar online. And I thank all the faculties and management principal for giving us this opportunity to share the information with our students. Because of some busy schedule, we are not having principal and HOD, sir, with us. But indeed, they are with us, supporting us in all the events. So thank you, sir, our beloved HOD, sir, Dr. Prabhakaran, sir, our principal, Dr. B. Shadaksharappa, sir, our management representative, Dr. R. Arun Kumar, sir, trustee, management, and all the HODs and faculties. Thank you for all of you for being a part of this program. So let us start this session with a happy note with welcoming our beloved Sivaprakash, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So, on behalf of our institute, I would welcome about the IIC cell also. So, the opportunity which have been given from IIC cell for us. So, in this regard, I welcome our overall coordinator of IIC cell, Harish Babu, and the ambassadors, Muthuvel and Shivshakti Balan, all together for this session. So, on behalf
Thank you,
of
sir.
department, I am welcoming them.
Welcome, Harish, sir, Muthuvel, sir, Balan, sir, Vijay, sir, and all our faculties.
So, with your permission, I will share my screen,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir. Yes, sir.
I hope my screen is visible to all.
Visible, sir, visible. We can go with slideshow.
Hope that now it's visible. So once again, good morning to everyone. So the today's topic is going to be a student's innovation and intellectual property rights. I hope that, ma'am, Arna ma'am, am I audible?
Sir, you are audible, but screen sharing is not visible, I think, sir. It is just showing presenting.
Is it so?
Once I will check, sir.
Others can check and tell whether you could be able to see the full screen.
Anyone there?
It's visible.
Is the presentation visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. We'll carry on, sir.
Yeah, please. So as we know that the today's topic, intellectual property rights, students innovation. So I'm going to take this topic into two levels. First level is going to be deal about students innovation, and second level we are going to deal about the intellectual property rights. Okay. So what do you mean by a student's innovation? So on behalf of IPR cell of Sri Sai Ram College of Engineering, I am going to present this presentation. A student's innovation. What do you mean by student's innovation? In generally, if you're going to see about that, creativity is nothing but thinking up new things. Everyone aware about it, isn't it? Creativity is thinking up a new thing, where innovation is going to be doing new things. This is the difference between a creativity and innovation. A small membrane is going to be there in between the word creativity and innovation. So innovation is nothing but doing new things. What is innovation? Anybody? Anyone? What is innovation? So in general, if you're going to see about this, the word innovation is going to be derived from the Latin verb, which is going to be called as innovare, I-N-N-O-V-A-R-E, innovare, which means a renew. The meaning of this innovare is nothing but renew. So from that Latin word innovare, the word innovation is going to get derived. So innovation means which is going to be improve or to replace something which is going to be maybe a process which is going to improve or replace something new, which may be a process or it may be a product or it may be a service. So it may be deals a process or a product or a service. So if you're going to think about that, brought to up to date by applying a new process, which introducing a new techniques or establishing successful ideas to create the new value, that is going to be called as innovation. In general, we can say that innovation means a creation, a development and implement of a new product. It may be a process of service. So with the aim of this improving the efficiency or the effectiveness or a competitive advantage, that is going to be dealt as an innovation. That is going to be called as innovation. So in generally, we can say that innovation is nothing but just refining a new thing, that is going to be called as innovation. So what is the types of innovation? How we can classify, or in what way the type innovation is going to be there? In general, if you're going to see about that in the context of a business, there are different types of innovations are going to be there. So which may be a process improvements and organizational innovations when it's going to be doing in an industry. Or it may be a product development, developing a new product which is going to be very much useful for the society. That is going to be called as a development, product development. Or it may be a service innovation. It may be related to a service which is going to be provided to the particular product. Or it may be a business model which is going to be called as a business model innovation. So if you're going to see about this process innovation, the improvements of process through a continuous improvement and the development of new solutions are going to be called as process improvements and organizational innovations. So if we're going to see about the product development, the development of innovative products and innovative product features, which is going to be deal about a product development. A service innovation is nothing but creation of an innovation in the new services for the customers or for the particular end users. That is going to be called as service innovations. The business model innovation, which is going to be deals about the development of an innovative information which is going to be related with the business and which is going to be useful to renew a particular increase the revenue in the particular stream. That is going to be called as business model innovation. So if you're going to see about that, the digitalization and the digital transformations which is going to be also required to the companies or to the organization to rethink and develop the new approaches. So such a way that innovation may be described as process development, product development, or a service innovation, or a different business model innovations. So what innovation is going to be there in education? Why? What does it mean actually? What does we look for, or what does we like innovation in education? It is a general thing we're going to see about. So innovation in education is going to be seeking knowledge. That is the more major important parameter what we're going to see about it. So we are going to seek the knowledge that will support to skill up a new or a unique idea in the instructional techniques, which is going to be providing a new ideas or a unique ideas, and which is going to reach to the students. That is going to be the innovation, especially we are going to deal about in education. So the innovation is nothing but it's seeking a knowledge that will support a new and unique ideas, as well as in the instructional techniques that will reach the students in a more effective and exciting way. That is an innovation in education. So in general, if you can see about that, the innovation has to be discussed with the teachers and students. So together they have to join the hands to provide a quality of education. And through this quality of education, an environment is going to be get developed, which is going to be get provided between students and teachers to make them more innovative, to share their innovative thoughts, and which is going to work for, which is going to be very much helpful for the societal culture. So this is the way the innovation in education has to be taken care over here. And what is the innovation for students? In general, if you're going to see about that, what is the innovation for students in general? So here, which is going to say that, which is going to involve a new way of thinking. So innovation involves a new way of thinking, thereby helping the students to develop their creativity and problem solving skills. That is the most important parameter what we are going to discuss in this particular students forum about innovation. So in general, if you're going to see about those, the innovation is nothing but an education which is going to provide an initiative between the students and teachers to research, to explore, and to use all the tools to uncover the new thing which is going to be present over there. Meanwhile, by having this initiatives, we have to plan appropriately how we are going to do that. So by helping this initiation with the students by the teacher, and we are going to have a proper plan, and we are going to provide a space to think creatively, So with this creativity, the student has to have a communication between the students as well as with their colleagues, so that we can have a proper idea to be get shared among us. So such a way, the innovation is going to be needed for a student. We have to be initiative, we have to be planning, we have to be creative, and we have to be able to communicate the same thing which we are going to do that. So that what happens, the innovation involves a different ways of looking a problem and to solve them. That is most important thing which is going to make the student to be innovative. So it also improves the education because it compels the students to use an higher level thinking to solve the complex problems, so that the innovation is going to be more important. So let me discuss why it's going to be important. Why student innovation is going to be important? Anybody can answer for my query? Why student innovation is important? Any one of you? Why student innovation is going to be important? In general, if you're going to think that the technological innovations are having a significant impact on educational system at all the levels. It may be an online course or technical aids or educational softwares or social networks, tools, and other emerging techniques which are going to be which is going to have a traditionally, which is going to bring everything into a classroom environment, so that the innovation is going to be more important at the student level. So to make this, to increase our chance to react, to change and discover the new opportunities. So we have to be more innovative. So students' innovation is going to be more important to increase your chances to react and discover new opportunities. It can also foster the competitive advantages, and it will allow you to build a better product and service of your own colleagues or your own teachers or your own institution. So thereby the students' innovation is going to be more important at this level. So now the next important point. What's the most innovative thing you have done or you have seen another students do in the classroom? Anybody? Any students can answer for it. What you come across? Any experience? Any one of you? Am I audible, Aruna?
Sir.
Anyone can answer? What's the most innovative thing you have done, or you have seen a teacher or a student who's going to do in the classroom so far in your experience? Any idea? Okay, if not, don't worry. We have to be so observed in the class. We have to observe the thing which is going to be happening in the class. Based on that, we have to look always for what's happening around us. Look for always what's happening around us. From that, what's new you're going to? What's the new thing which is going to be present in that one? So when you're going to find a new thing in that, obviously you can put on that in your calendar or record it. It will be very much useful for you when you are going to be, or it may be a motivation for you to be innovative or to be different from others in your classroom at the student level. So please, you have to observe and you have to look what's happening around you and try to find out what's new in that. So that new thing has to give a spark to you. So that spark makes you to think more creatively and more innovatively, so that you can think different and you can be different from others. Such a way you can be an innovative student. Okay, so always it has to be get recorded, it has to be get noted in your personal diary for your future reference, so that kindly you can monitor. So far what you not did, try to do hereafter. Okay, please be more absorption and looks what's happening around you and try to find what's new in that. Then you have to make a mark in your personal diary what can be done in future by you in an innovative way. That's going to be a more important for you, so that you become an innovative student over there. So then, innovation in education, what works, what does, or what to do about it? How, in what way it can to be? In generally, I can say in 4 words about this innovation in education, what to do about it. How am I to be an innovative student? I can give a small hints for you guys that always you have to find something. In today, education badly needs the effective innovation of scale. that can help you to produce the needed high quality learning outcomes across the system. So the primary focus of this particular education innovation should be on teaching and learning, which can be a practical oriented, which can be a theory oriented. It may be, this is not a big important thing, but the primary focus of education is going to be an innovative one. It should be maybe a practical way we can gain much more information over there. So always we have to be try to find the things. So we can say that effective innovation of scale is going to be a more important thing. There we can be always try to find the things over there. As well as we can say that it may be a learners, being a student or parent or a community. The culture is going to be like that. Okay, so the technology which can have an application which is going to need a solid theoretical foundation based on the purposeful systematic research and a sound pedagogy which is going to be needed over there. So when a faculty or when a society which is going to provide such kind of information for us, it may have us to become more effective innovation person to find those things over there. The next one, if you're going to think about that, implications. I can classify these implications into two, as practical implications and social implications. Let's see about the practical implications. How to create? The first question we have to arise among ourselves, how to create? Several practical recommendations is going to recommend the same thing only. Okay, to have a base for a large scale innovation and their implementations, always we have to think about a broad way so that we can think about a large scale innovations and their improvements, the implementations. If you're going to think, obviously we can have a creativity over there. The next, how to increase the effective technological innovations in the education. How we can do that? By collaborating with the faculty, by collaborating with your friends, by collaborating with your society, we can increase this. Obviously, we can have this one more thing, how to rise it. So the time and cost effectiveness is going to be present over there in the education. So we have to plan and we have to implement in an appropriate way to rise this one. That is going to be the practical implications. How to create, how to increase, and how to rise. Next one, social implications. Innovation in educations which are going to be regarded along with the education system. With the context, if you're going to see about that societal super system demonstration, even which can have an interrelations and interdependencies at all levels are going to be present over there. So always we have to think about the context of a societal super system. What is the need which is going to be present around us that makes us to be innovative and that makes us to think in a different way. Such a way the societal implications is going to be providing a particular interest or particular knowledge to us to rethink or to do the things new. The last one, which is going to be called as originality or a original value. So in general, if you're going to see about that, which is going to offer a comprehensive classifications of innovation. So originality is nothing but the system approach, everyone aware about that, which is going to in the education or education innovations, which is going to offer a comprehensive classifications of innovations. And even in a new arguments about effectiveness of technology applications can be get found with the time efficiency of the education. So the innovation in education, what to do about it is nothing but we have to find and we have to try to get the practical and social implications and think about the originality. So these things makes you to be more innovative and which will improve your knowledge to be get redefining or classifying a new things over there among your things. So by a student, we have to be like this. We have to be findings. We have to try to find. We have to think about the practical and social implications. Always we must provide a original value or the own ideas has to be get given over there. So by this, we can be an innovative student over there. And once I am being innovative, in what way I can protect my innovation? So when we are going to discuss about an innovation, in generally everyone aware about that. So when I'm going to find something, always I want to protect that, isn't it? So when I'm going to own something, we are going to say that this is my idea, this is my technology, this is my project, this is my book, this is mine. So always this mind is going to be there along with us. If you want to retain that mind with you, you have to go for the intellectual property rights. The intellectual property rights, which is going to deal about what is yours, how we are going to protect your ideas or your innovations. That is going to be dealt in the second part as intellectual property rights. So let me see about the intellectual property rights, which is going to be celebrated throughout the world in the day of 26th April of every year, which is going to be called as a Property Rights Day. Property Rights Day. So let us give a small glimpse about the legislative framework of the intellectual property administration. So the Department of IP&P covers about this IPR. The Act has been introduced in 1970 and which have been amended in 2005. The rules has been declared in 2003 and which have been amended in 2006. The Design Act is going to be introduced in 2000. The Trademark Act is going to be introduced in 1999. The Geographical Indications of Goods Act has been introduced in 1999. And Department of Education also going to cover over there with a Copyright Act under Copyright Act 1957, which have been amended in 1999. So this is a small history about the legislative framework of intellectual property administration. Let me discuss in detail about this. A control is going to be there. The Controller General of Patent, Design, Trademark is going to be the particular center who is going to have this particular IPR related informations, which is going to be classified into 4 as Patent Office, IPTM Office, which is going to be there in Nagpur, the Trademark Registry, Geographical Indication Registry. Like that, it has been classified like this. The Patent Office is going to be having a head office in Kolkata and branch office in Delhi, Chennai, and Mumbai. And these offices are going to have a design office, which is going to be present in Kolkata itself for the design patents. And the Trademark Registry, which is having a head office in Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, and Ahmedabad. And meanwhile, the Geographical Indications Registry is going to be done only in Chennai office. So this is the work culture of this patent office. So it's nothing but Controller General of Patent, Design and Trademarks, which is going to be owned by Government of India and which is going to be providing all this patent related informations, and they are going to maintain all the documents throughout the India. And let me see about what can be done, what cannot be done, or what can be patent, what cannot be patent. In general, if you're going to see about that, a particular property which is going to be defined as a tangible or intangible. For example, tangible may be a movable or an immovable. Examples, it may be a car or bus or a two-wheeler vehicle, something. Immovable may be a property, a building or a land or some kind of information, which cannot be patented. The tangible thing can't able to get patent. Only intangibles are going to get patentable. Under that, we are going to think about an intellectual property. Under this intellectual property, which is going to be again further classified into 2 as industrial related and copyright related. Industrial related and copyright related. This industrial property related, we are going to have 3 things which is going to be called as patents, design, trademarks, and geographical indicators. Okay, and one more side is going to be called as copyright. So totally 5 things are going to be there: patent, design, trademark, geographical indications under the industrial property related, and one more is going to be called as copyright related. Moving on to this next one, new. What is meant by new? Majority of us, we are aware about it. Innovation must not be published in India or elsewhere. In prior public knowledge or a prior public use within India will not be a new one. And claimed before it any specifications has to be done in India. So these things has to be avoided. So if you're going to avoid these things, then your idea is going to be called as a new one. The innovative step, what actually we people have to do. The first one, a feature of an innovation should be involves a technical advances as compared to the existing knowledge, or it has to have economic significance. Economic significance has to be more important in this particular step, or it has to have both make the innovation not an obvious one, or to a person skilled in the art. Such a way it has to be taken care over here. So this innovative steps has to be taken care to be get into the intellectual property rights. What is IPR? Intellectual property rights. The intellectual property rights are the rights given to the person over the creation of their minds, their ideas. In general, we can say that their minds, their creativity, their ideas. That is going to be called as intellectual property rights. They usually give this creations or creators can exclusively a right over the use of this or creation for a certain period of time, which can't able to be until their death, which can't able to be for a short duration. It's going to be a certain period has been given over there. During that time, this is going to be related. This is going to be having, they have the rights to protect those informations among them. Let me see what are the things are going to be called as IPR, types of IPR. In general, we're going to say that design, copyright, trademark, patents, and one more is going to be called as geographical indications that we will see in the last. Design, copyright, trademarks, patent. These are the types of intellectual property rights. Let me see one by one. Design. What do you mean by design? Design refers to a feature of a shape, a configuration, it may be a pattern, which is going to be an ornament or a composition of lines, or which can be color applied to any article. It may be anything. These are the things are going to be called as a design. Example I can give you. A design does not include a principle of constructions or any other thing which is going to be a mechanical device, or any trademark, any artistic work will not be related to a design. In general, if you're going to see about the examples of design, if you're going to see about it, this figure shows that one kind of water tank is going to be there. Sorry. If you're going to see about it, I can take a laser pen. So if you're going to see over here, we're going to have a particular thing present over here, which is going to deal about, I hope everyone aware about it, you have come across over this. This is nothing but a stabilizer, which is going to stabilize the voltage. If you're going to see about this, this is a V-Guard, a company called as V-Guard. They have created such kind of design. This design can't able to be copied by others, because this have been got the intellectual property right of V-Guard organization for their own design. And one more example I've shown over there, which is going to be called as a syntax water tank. The tank is going to be having its own specifications over there. So the design is going to be given, the syntax company has been taken their own significance over there. And coming to the next one, if you're going to see about it, this a chart. The design has been taken approval, which have been the intellectual property rights of a Neil Kamal organization. Such a way, these are the examples of design. So you can't able to copy it, or you can't able to make the same thing or same kind of design. When you're going to do that one, it's going to be an offense. Legally, we can't able to do that one. so that this copyrights, this things have been taken the intellectual property of their own organizations, so that we can't able to use it. Okay, this is going to be called as a design examples. What is the benefit of registering this design? When you go and register this one, it's going to be become a legal property of their own. And if you're going to use that, you have to pay royalty for them. You have to pay a royalty because they have got the license for that, and that is going to be their own process, their own item. That's something, but their own property. So we can't able to use their property without their permission. So that we can go and we can request them, we can take that license, and we have to give royalty for them. Such a way only we can do that one. That is going to be called as design registration. In general, if you're going to see about that, this design registrations are going to be given 10 years rights for them. Until the day one when they're going to get approved by this IPR design. From that day to 10 years, this particular design is going to be the legal property of their own organization. So that until the 10 year, they can do whatever they want. But others can't able to redesign the same, we can't able to use the same kind of design over there. This is the benefit of design registration. So 10 years time is going to be given over there, so that after 10 years it will be expired. That property will not belong to the same organization. Further, they have to reclaim it, and the process is going to be default. They have to do such kind of things over there. Next, we will move on to the second one, copyright. What is copyright? In general, if you're going to see about that, a copyright is nothing but the right given by law to the creators. Who are the creators? It may be a literacy, or a dramatic, or a music, or artist work, a producer of a cinematographic film, or it may be a sound recording. So these are the things are going to be coming under and copyright, intellectual property rights, under the type of copyright. Here we can't able to apply for a design. We can apply only for a copyright. So it may be an literacy, nothing but a content who is going to be written and they're going to protect. It may be a story, or it may be a drama, or it may be some kind of thing. Or it may be a composition made by the musician, or it may be a cinema which have been taken by a producers, a cinematographic film, or the sound which is going to be recorded by the sound engineers. So those things are going to be dealt about the copyright, which means the exclusive right which have been granted to the creator to do or to authorize the doing of anything which is going to be following by this literacy or dramatic or musical or artistic work, or a cinematographic film, or a sound recordings. Examples of copyright, if you're going to see about that, I have shown an example over the mechanics of materials. It's nothing but a 6th edition made by James M. Green. So he is the owner for this book. So this content may not be copied. If you're going to copy, again it will be a problem. So if you're going to see over here, we can see that the copyright has been mentioned over here. You can see the copyright data has been mentioned over there. So here we can see that this is the copyright. So if you want to use it, you have to pay royalty for them, and you can take the appropriate permission, and you can do this. You can use this one. If you're going to see about this, if you want to do some kind of thing in this copyright, you want to reproduce the work, or if you want to issue copies of the same work, or if you want to perform some work in the public, or if you want to make any translation of the same work, you can do that, or you can adopt the same work over there with an appropriate permission from the particular person who is owned the particular copyright authority. And in generally, usually this copyright is going to be granted for 60 years. The lifetime of this copyright is going to be 60 years, 60 years. Design patents are going to be 10 years. Copyrights are going to be 60 years, 60 years. So usually this copyright is going to be granted for 60 years. And in case of the originality, literacy, or dramatic, or some other kind, if they are going to, for example, the person is going to be dead, or the person is no more, then we can claim that and we can change this one to the next person. That copyright approval is going to be given in such a way it can be get granted over there. The third one is going to be the intellectual property rights, which is going to deal third as a trademark. What do you mean by a trademark? Which is going to be an distinct sign which capable of being represented graphically and which is capable of distinguish the goods or services of one person from others, which is going to be, it may be an individual person or it may be a company. That's not a problem. This trademark is going to protect the name or a brand name from being used in the same or a similar fashion by others, thereby which protects or which is going to give a goodwill that's going to be called as a trademark. In general, if you're going to see about that, McDonald's, I'll give an example over there as a McDonald's. The young symbol which have been written over there, we can't able to use like the same because which have been registered in the intellectual property rights. And sometimes it may be R, which is going to be called as a registered one, R, and sometimes it may be a trademark, TM. Both the things are going to be coming under this registered trademark. Both are going to be present over there. For example, these are the some form of trademarks. The Lays, L-A-Y apostrophe S, the Lays, Intel Inside, Microsoft, Coca-Cola. These are the names which have been taken as a trademark, so that this can't able to be used by others, because these are the property which have been belonging to the particular organization. They have claimed it under the intellectual property rights. So this is going to be belonging to them. And these trademarks are going to be a distinct one, which can be a written statements or which can be having a good look over there, which can sounds in a different way, which can be conceptual. So all those things are going to be called as a trademark. In general, this trademarks registration is going to be given for 10 years rights. The IPR, the Intellectual Property of India, is going to sanction a maximum period of 10 years, which is going to be given for them. Later 10 years, they are going to have an option that they can renew it. Nothing but renewal process is going to be present. They can renew the same thing from time to time. After 10 years, they can continue the same thing they want. They can continue. If they want to make any corrections in that, they can go ahead with the corrections also. So the trademarks are also going to have a lifespan of 10 years. So once in 10 years, they can renew it and they can continue the same thing for the next 10 years of tenure too. Such a way, these trademarks are going to get present over there. This is the property, a third property of intellectual property rights of India. The fourth one, which is going to be most important thing, that is going to be called as patent. Patent. What do you mean by a patent? It's an intellectual property right relating to the inventions, which is going to be given into the invention. What new thing you have found? What new thing you have been discovered or you have been invented? That's going to be present over there. So here in general, we can say that the innovation is either a product or a process. It may be a product or it may be a process, and which can have a grant of exclusive rights for a limited period of 20 years. It's also going to be a limited one. Later 20 years, we can't able to claim it. If you want, you have to renew, nothing but not renewing, and we are going to, again, we have to file and we have to proceed it, and we can get the same kind of 20 years of exclusive rights. The patent excludes others from making or using or selling or importing the patent products or process, which is going to be a product or a process for those purposes. So which is going to avoid making or selling or using such kind of thing. That is going to be the special exclusive right which is going to be have the person who is going to have over there. That's why it's going to be called as a patent. So which have exclusive rights for a period of 20 years over there. So example, if you're going to see about example, if you say that you have invented a new different data storage system, for example, you did it. You have invented a new efficient database system. Is it patent? No, we can't able to get patent for that. How? Then why? then how we can go for it? So it has to be, you have to tell how to make it. If you're going to have your own idea with you, you can't able to patent it. You have to communicate, you have to tell how to make it, then only patent is going to be get granted. That is the major thing which is going to be involved in patent. Our own idea, for example, idea themselves are not patentable. It has to be conveyed in an appropriate way that how to make it to a product. That's why the patents are more important when compared with a design or a copyright or a trademark. So if you say that you have invented a new efficient database system and you all have to tell how to make it, then the patent is going to be get granted. So understand guys, our idea itself not able to get patent. Our idea has to be get communicated in what way we can implement it, in what way we can make into a product, a prototype, whatever it may be, not a problem. So we have to give the exclusive specifications related to that particular product. Then only we can claim for a patent. That's why the patents are so important. So what are the patentable criteria? So in generally, I will request all the students to observe this. We have some patentable criteria, we have to follow it, then only we can do that. To qualify for a patent, an invention must fulfill this following requirements over here, which is going to be called as a new novelty. Having an invention step, which is going to be non-obviousness, capable of industrial applications. The industrial applicability has to be get considered over there and not fall under the section 3 and 4 of Indian Patent Act 1970. That is, we will deal later. The last point we will deal later, because the patentability, which is going to have some subject matters that has to be discussed in section 3 and section 4 of patent law. Okay, so law we will deal in a separate session. Here we have to think about the main 3 important things. New, novelty. Any invention or technology is a new, then which has not to be anticipated by the publication in any document. That is most important, students ask to. If you're going to have your own idea to do a project, always we have to keep our idea and it has to be get documented properly, and that should not be published anywhere before filing the patent, or which should not be used in the country or anywhere else in the world. That is most important. Got it? That's why it's going to be called as novelty. Novelty is nothing but unpublished data, which is going to be a new one, which is going to be your own idea and which have been having documented properly and not published. That is most important. Second one, inventive step, which involves the technical advancements as compared to the existing knowledge, or having an economic significance, or both, that makes the invention not obvious to a person skilled in the art. It should not be an obviousness. Everyone will do, I also did. No, that is not going to be. It's a non-obvious, which is going to be dealt as invention step. That's most important, the second way. The third one is going to be called as industrial applicability. We need to check whether invention is capable of being made or used in an industry. What I did, which is going to be useful for the end user, the societal, the industrial applications. If you're going to think about that, it's going to be having a capability to produce or to make by the industry, and that will be useful for the community. Then it will be patentable. So these are the main 3 criteria we have to think before doing the patent, the patentable criteria. Based on that, should one perform the patentability search for filling a patent application? Is it necessary? As I say, no. Why? One can file patent application in good faith, and if believes that the invention is to the best of your knowledge. If not, If not, if you fail this, then you have to go for patentable search is going to be needed. Even though I can say that my idea is going to be new one. As per my perception, as per my knowledge, I can say that my idea is going to be new. It was not at all. But even in the world, any nook and corner, it may be available. So that we have to go for a patentable search is going to be needed over there to know whether our invention is going to be a unique, it is going to be a patentable, and any future or a further check how to close it's going to be to the other inventions. That's why we're going to check for a prior art search. That's going to be called as prior art search. We're going to search that is there any idea which have been related ideas have been presented priorly. That is going to be a search will be done called as prior art search, which is going to track the useful research and development details, and it will useful for us to learn the literature, how it can be or in what way we are differ. It can give our own experience to renew our idea. That's why we need the patentable search is going to be a needed one. That's called as prior art search is going to be needed before filing our patent. And where to search? As I said, we have to search. Where to search? So in generally, an open patent or a non-patentable databases or sources are going to be available around the world. Everywhere it's going to be available. Some of the few open source databases I will share over there, which is going to be related in this particular sites, we can check over there. The Indian Patent Office, or USTPO, EPO, WIPO, Korean patents, individual patent database of these countries. It can be, even we can Google it. Even in IEEE also we can have some kind of related informations. So these are the open source databases. We can search in this database whether my idea, whether our idea is being unique or not. So here we can search and we can come to a conclusion that my idea is going to be a unique one. So that, which will be helpful. I hope this sites will be helpful for you people to do that particular search. Okay. Once after search is going to be there, we can file for it and we can do the patent. Okay. So we can go for the patent. Now, when to patent, when not? Because prior art search has been over, we are having our data is going to be unique one. Now we have to go for a patent. How to do that? I'll give a definition for that. Do apply for a patent if your product has a long lifetime, if it involves a key technology, if the benefits outweighs the cost, if an infringement of the patent can be easily demonstrated. Underline this, demonstration is going to be more important. Simply doing will not helpful. Always we have to demonstrate it in the appropriate way. Can be demonstrated in a appropriate way. And if your patent enhances you or your organization or institution's image, it will give a more weightage for you so that you can go for patent. If you require funding or consulting or some kind of help, you can conduct a research over there and you can get funding from that. For example, we can give the patent for some other organizations, we can get funding and we can do renew things over there. If these are the criteria which is going to get fulfilled, obviously you can go for a patent. When not, do not apply for a patent if your product has a short lifetime. If the cost outweighs doesn't have benefits, no need to go. If there is a small market with low margins, need not to be get patented because you won't get any revenue from that or you won't get any royalty from that. If there are enormous available, already it's going to be available, some kind of alternatives are available, then patenting the same will not be helpful for us. So need not to do such kind of things over there. And if there is a limited market, rethink how far you're going to patent that, because it's going to be a costlier one, a time consumption, and maintaining that patent also going to be a problem for us. So that do not apply for a patent if you have product have a short life or cost effectiveness is not at all and a small market and alternatives are available, try to avoid it. Before taking a decision, in order to proceed with your patent filing, do ensure that whether our invention satisfies the patentable criteria. That's most important thing. And whether our disclosures, papers, or specifications have enough content. Think twice before filing it. This is the two important thing. We have to ensure it. It has to satisfy the patentable criteria. It has to satisfy all the enough content should be get present over there. Then we can go for submitting or filing the patent. Once the patent is going to get filed, we can think about the second level called as grant of patent. I can explain you the stages of filing to grant of patent. So filing an application provisionally and we can complete the data within the 12 months of your patent has been published. Then you can go for a period of 18 months have been given over there, which is going to be called as publication of application. And 48 months of time has been given for a request for examination. They're going to ask you to write an examination. For this purpose, we have authorities. So those authorities called as what we can say that the persons are going to be available. Attorneys, those attorneys are going to take care about this process and they will file and they will give the explanations for the IPR office. And examination is going to issue an FER. Examination is going to give an FER. It's going to be a third party presentation. As I said, attorneys, they are going to do this work. And once it's going to get compiled, if any issues are not going to be there, then they will go for grant of patent. It will be get granted. The patent is going to be get granted. Once it's going to be granted, some oppositions may be there. Within 12 months, oppositions has to apply. If not, the grant is going to be with you. Then decision of a controller is going to decide if opposition comes over there. They can appeal and it's going to be applied into the board that which is going to be re-amended or it can be continue with the granted patent. So this is the stages which is going to be given over there to get the grant of patent. Coming to the facts, what actually it can be. In India, small and medium scale industries are the one who came out with maximum 90% of innovations. Even a BE student who do projects in their respective disciplines can register their project under the IPR if it's really innovative. Underline the word again and again. If it is really innovative, that is the most important thing. If it is really innovative, even the BE student project also going to be get patented. So in this regard, I request you people, please think twice before deciding your project. Be innovative and try to register your projects under IPR and get the 20 years of rights for your project. As soon as the duration of the protection through IPR is over, it becomes a public domain. Nobody can have the rights. It will be a public. Anybody can use it over there. After the 20 years of tenure, many company uses this IPR as a weapon to compete with other players in the market. I hope everyone aware about it. So these are the facts which is going to be this. So students' projects may be patented. So students must be innovative and they must provide or they must apply this property rights. They can take the intellectual properties of their own projects. So with this, I will conclude that the intellectual property rights renew a creativity and human endeavor which fuel the progress of humankind. So understanding the country's IP rights, being an Indian, we must support to Indian patents, and following the best practices can dramatically reduce the risk of losing the company's intellectual property. So that be aware about your rights. And Indian government has initiated various steps towards the intellectual property right protections. So even AICT, MHRD, IIC, they have taken enormous steps to give the protection for this IPR. So I request all the students and faculty members join hands together and make your innovative ideas into a product and try to file it for the patent, and you can take the intellectual property rights. So with this, I'll conclude my presentation related with the students' innovation and intellectual property rights. Hope this session may be having an eye-opener for all the students to think before deciding their projects and make it an innovative one in the near future. So thanking you for this opportunity provided for me to share my thought about an IPR and the students' innovation. So I thank all the students, faculty members, the coordinators and the department for providing me this opportunity. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
sir. It was a really eye-opening session for all our students, because usually they knew what is IPR, but now today we have gone deep into what are the different types in IPR, so how they can patent their rights, all these things. Maybe in the following days, we will have a follow-up session with the students with some more better examples, so that they will have that better knowledge of how to apply their projects as patents. So thank you so much. On my own behalf, from Department of Electronics and Communication, HOD and staff, principal, I wholeheartedly thank our innovation ambassador, that is Sivaprakash sir, and our innovation council for giving us this opportunity for hosting this webinar and enlightening our students with better knowledge about IPR. Thank you so much, sir.